Hey, what's up everyone? I just want to make a quick video regarding wireless weapons and how they are being used on the people, particularly American people. This is actually being reported by CBS News, so they can't say that we're making these things up now. As an invisible weapon is likely targeting United States diplomats. Commerce Department Trade Officer Catherine Warner used to promote American business from the United States Consulate in Guangzhou, China. By the way, I also meant to report that the Popocatépetl volcano is erupting in Mexico majorly right now. And there's a disastrous situation happening in Africa. Mozambique is being targeted by this huge storm. Second one in a short period of time, as well as Madagascar. And they are being bombarded, and over 1,000 people are dead right now. But back to this. Today, these people say they're being targeted. They suffer from bouts of nausea, dizziness, and headaches. And she said her sense of balance is off. Robin Garfield, also a trade officer with the Commerce Department, was posted in Shanghai, China. And along with nausea, dizziness, and headaches, he said he has trouble remembering words. State Department Security Officer Mark Lindsay used to work in a consulate in Guangzhou, China. When he did, he said that the splitting pain in his head was a side-splitting pain in his head was debilitating. He said he couldn't sleep. He was thinking, what is wrong with him? What's wrong? The three are among at least 15 American officials in China who say they suffered unexplained brain trauma after being attacked by mysterious. Previously, 26 Americans who worked in the United States Embassy in Cuba say that they experienced an attack and have similar symptoms. This week on 60 Minutes, correspondent Scott Paley works on the aftermath of the attacks. Reports on them anyway, sorry. Producers Michael Ray and Oriana Zilde Granados worked with Paley on the report for about a year, collecting various evidence of what appears to be hostile governments' plan to target Americans abroad. That means that Americans are being targeted worldwide. In the video above, you'll see that they told 60 Minutes Overtime and Silvio that they wanted to hear from the victims directly. So, they got to hear from the victims. And it went from being a sort of James Bond spy thriller to being actual victims. People who were really hurt. Children who were really hurt. They went on to say that even their family was even targeted. And their pets. You'll see here, with so many unanswered questions, the producers say that they approached the story with a sense of skepticism and concede that there were still many many symptoms that people had, and maybe a cause for the symptoms that they haven't yet considered. But they say that they were careful to verify everything that they reported and to be clear about what they don't know yet. Their stories are incredibly compelling, they said. And their medical records are incredibly compelling. And basically, all their records seem to show and back it up. The government employees weren't the only ones targeted. Their spouses, children, family pets, anyone around them apparently, also exhibited neurological symptoms after hearing strange sounds in their homes. Now think about how many strange sounds we all hear. Think about how many frequencies we hear. And think about what this could be. By the way, an earthquake happened in Tennessee. That could have been what I felt yesterday. But while some reporting has claimed that the victims were suffering from mass hysteria, which is complete bull, not from some sort of an attack, the producers say that their own reporting shows the evidence doesn't back the mass hysteria up. There are a lot of elements here. Just discount the idea of being mass hysteria. So they don't think it's mass hysteria. And I don't either. In addition to the victims who were working in China, the 60 Minutes team also spoke with a diplomat who says that she was attacked while working in Cuba. The producers say that her description of the attack closely matches the stories they heard from the government employees in China. I don't know why this individual says she wants to be, unless she's wearing a lot of makeup and a face mask or something. I don't understand why she said she wants to hide her identity when obviously you can see who she is. She won't show her name or reveal her identity, but you can see through the glasses, so that sunglasses, that doesn't make sense. But the woman asked 60 Minutes not to reveal her name. They said she's the first victim from Cuba to tell her story on camera. She told Paley that she wants Americans to know what happened to diplomats serving abroad. She also wants to encourage other people who were injured to come forward and seek treatment. It's not something that you should have to live with and suffer through alone, so it's important for everyone to hear this. And that's something that I also feel that I like to do with my YouTube channel. Things that we're all going through that's not something that you want to be alone in. You don't want to experience it alone. You want to know that others are going through the same thing. I wish we didn't have to go through these ups and downs that we go through to begin with, but that's not what the topic of this video is. But think about this. If these invisible weapons are targeting the diplomats, and they plan on targeting Americans abroad, then you know good and well. Well, who's to say that they're not using this 5G technology owned by companies in the Middle East and China? Think about that. Let that sink in for a moment. The Middle East owns AT&T. Now they bought them out. And China and the Middle East own AT&T and all of these phone companies. Who's to say that the pains that we experience and the suffering that we experience is not a direct result of the implementation of this 5G technology used as an invisible weapon to target the people of this world? Those that set these machines up, those that set this equipment up, these 5G transmitters, speaking of which, they're being placed. I noticed them in a town backwoods town that is not even supposed to have that kind of technology. I've noticed them put on the light poles, the electric poles. They're putting them up. I've noticed they're implementing it everywhere. They have them near us now. They're putting them in. And they say in Nashville, Tennessee, they're putting them in various places, and people in Tennessee feel uncomfortable about it. They say after what they've heard about it and the negative information that's been released on it, they don't like the idea of it. But they said, well, they called the company, and AT&T said there's nothing you can do about this. It's part of our rollout plan. They're going to introduce it nationwide and soon worldwide. 5G signal technology. And this was in Nashville, and they stated that there's nothing that you can do about it. You can't tell them they can or cannot put one on your property. And these people stated that the lights they're putting in are too bright, and that the cell phone signal, the 5G transmitters, are too painful, and that they interfere with their daily life. They cause problems and pains and issues with the individuals, the people who live near them. And they're putting these poles up with a 5G transmitter on it, and it's in their yard. Of course, they're calling it an eyesore. But then also, I'm hearing spirit activity in the other room. I'm sorry, but then also, you know that these individuals who are reporting, these U.S. diplomats that around this world that are reporting these attacks, are saying that they are hearing frequencies, and then it all happens, and these frequencies are harming them. Well, there's frequencies all around us that are unnatural human-made frequencies and corporation-made frequencies, but they're getting worse with 5G and this microwave technology. And in my opinion, who's to say they could not implement that kind of technology and utilize 5G for this same purpose as what these U.S. diplomats are experiencing? So they should check this out, and this should definitely be reported on. I'm glad CBS News is reporting on it. It does seem as though CBS News is more accurate, and it does seem like CBS News does report on truth more than the other news networks and news sources out there. And they're slightly less biased, I suppose, give or take a little bit. I mean, I don't care for many of them at all, but CBS is better than the others. But anyway, I believe they could be definitely using these invisible weapons as technological weaponry, and utilizing this 5G technology to use as weapons on the people of the United States, or United States citizens worldwide, or anyone for that matter. They could utilize that for anyone, because the people who have experienced 5G have reported these very similar symptoms, and what we all experience as well. You know firsthand, those of you who listen to me and follow my channel know, and subscribe to me, know what you've experienced, what I've experienced, what we know, and it could be the direct results of this. Who knows? Invisible weapons targeting citizens. Peace. Stay as safe as possible, everyone. Very difficult in this crazy world. Peace. Bye.